Hello, my name is Jeff Good, and I'm the Chief Education Technology Officer at PBS Western Reserve located in Northeast Ohio. PBS Western Reserve is also one of 8 state of Ohio educational technology agencies, and those Ohio Ed Tech agencies have created a series of videos to assist parents in helping keep their at-home students safe on the internet. I'm going to spend some time to talk to you about teaching your kids about internet safety. I hope you find this information helpful. The internet can be a wonderful place to learn, shop, play games, and talk to your friends. Unfortunately, there are also predators, identity thieves, and others online who may try to harm you. In order to be safe online, it's important for you and your kids to be aware of the dangers. Many kids are confident that they know how to be safe online. However, there are a few reasons kids are more often at risk. They may not always think about the consequences of their actions, which can cause them to share too much information about themselves. Kids also are sometimes specifically targeted by cyberbullies or predators. So if you're a parent or guardian, you can help to keep your kids safe by talking to them about their internet use, teaching them about online dangers, and learning everything you can about the internet so you can make informed decisions. First of all, let's begin to understand some online dangers. Things like phishing. Phishing is a type of scam where the scammer tries to trick you into revealing your personal information. It usually involves an email, an instant message, or a website that's designed to look like it's from a legitimate company. Piracy in the online world revolves to illegally sharing copyrighted materials. This can be everything from music, movies, TV shows, and software. For many kids, sharing files may seem rather innocent, but it can result in stiff penalties. Cyber stalking and cyberbullying is any kind of harassment or threatening behavior that occurs online. It can happen through instant messaging, text, or even social networks. Malware is a malicious software that's designed to damage your computer or steal your personal information. It includes viruses, spyware, and other types of software. The internet contains a lot of content you probably don't want to see, including pornography, violent content, and vulgar language. And oftentimes our kids like to post photos and share information, but in some cases, this information can be used online. Guidelines for keeping your kids safe. First of all, learn everything you can about the internet. Being familiar with the internet will not only help you understand the risks, but it also help you talk to your kids. Set standards for what your kids can and cannot do online. It's important to make rules for your kids so they know what's expected of them. Don't wait until something bad happens to start creating those guidelines. Teach your kids to keep personal information private. It's usually a bad idea to post personal information online, such as phone numbers, addresses, and credit cards. Teach your kids to use social networking sites safely. Sites like Facebook allows kids and adults to share photos and videos of themselves, as well as have conversations with friends and strangers. If your kids share something with friends, it's still possible for it to get into the wrong hands. Generally, the rule of thumb should be they should only post something online if they're comfortable with everyone in the world seeing it. Encourage your kids to come to you if they encounter a problem. If your child gets into trouble online, you'll want him or her to come to you instead of hiding it. Keep in mind that your kids could accidentally encounter a bad site, even if they're doing everything right. And finally, talk to your kids about internet use. Talk to your kids regularly about how they use the internet, both personally and at school. If they're in the habit of talking to you about the internet, they'll be more willing to come to you if there's a problem. If your kids are spending time online, and in all honesty, with the remote learning and everything that's going on, most kids are, you may be looking for a way to control what they can access. There's some great programs like Net Nanny that will help you do that, but they can be pricey. And they're not always necessary. Even if your kids are computer savvy teens, you can do some basic things to your router and computer to control their online activities. That includes setting up WPA security on your router. It's much more safer than setting up WEP password that can be cracked in less than a minute. Set a password for your router. This seems like an obvious one, but if you use the default password or one that your child can guess, they may be able to use a Linux boot disk to get and control the settings that you set. Control your administrative access. Make sure kids don't have administrative access on the computers. It's also good to make sure that kids have their own accounts on their home computer. Windows security options include the parental options that let you monitor your child's activity and protect them from inappropriate content. And if you have a Mac, you can set up manage accounts for your kids that let you take advantage of the parental control options that Mac already has. You'll be able to control who they can message or email and which apps they can use. If you have a home computer your child uses, then there are some extra precautions you can take to make it safer. Remember that your kids will probably use many other computers, and these precautions won't keep them safe when they're not at home. But also keep in mind that these are merely suggestions. These include keeping your computer in the living room or in a common area. By putting that computer in a common area of the house, you reduce the chance that they'll talk to strangers or visit inappropriate websites. Install your antivirus software. Virus is another malware or a risk for any computer. Use a kid-friendly search engine. Regular search engines may return results with inappropriate content you don't want your kids to see. However, there are some search engines that are designed to return only kid-friendly results. And use your parental controls. Windows and Mac operating systems allow you to add parental controls to users' accounts. And once you've established those guidelines, you may want to put them in writing. You can create an internet safety contract your kids can sign, and then you keep a copy of it near the computer. There are many pre-made contracts you can download and print. One example is the Family Online Safety Contract that you see on the screen here, which you can download from the Family Online Safety Institute.
The internet. It offers enormous opportunities to communicate. Most of us, including kids, do all kinds of things online. We connect through email, text, and instant messaging. We post and distribute pictures and videos. We may have profiles on social networks where we share our lives, our plans, and our thoughts with hundreds of people. These ways of communicating and socializing can be convenient and fun, yet they come with certain risks. Many parents wonder, how should I talk to my kids about being safe online? A booklet called NetCetera provides some practical tips. It's based on the idea that the first step to protecting kids online is more about talking than technology. When kids want important information, they turn to their parents. So talk to them about your values, honesty, fairness, courtesy, or whatever values are most important in your family, and how they apply in an online setting. By communicating your values and expectations, you'll help your kids make smarter, more thoughtful decisions when they face tricky situations online. Here are some things to talk about. Social networking sites, chat rooms, and blogs are some ways kids socialize online. They can help kids connect with friends, but it's important to help your children learn how to navigate these spaces safely. Among the pitfalls, sharing too much information and posting pictures or video that can hurt someone's feelings or damage a reputation. Talk to your kids about applying good judgment to help minimize those pitfalls. Most mobile phones have cameras and can shoot video, making it easy for teens to capture and share every moment on the go. Encourage kids to think about their privacy and that of others before they share photos and videos. Cyberbullying is bullying that happens online, and it's a lose-lose proposition. It makes the person being harassed feel bad, and it makes the bully look bad. Talk to your kids about treating others with respect, and let them know they can talk to you if someone harasses them. If that happens, encourage your kids to block the bully if they can, and ignore him or her if they can't. That's because bullies are looking for a reaction. If it continues, ask your kids to save the evidence and share it with you or another adult they trust. Mean behavior usually stops pretty quickly when someone speaks up. Encourage your kids to stand up for themselves and to stand up for someone else being cyberbullied. And talk to your kids about treating others online the same way they want to be treated. Here are some other tips to keep in mind. Start early. Young kids see their parents using smartphones and computers. So as soon as your kids use one themselves, it's time to talk to them about safety. Initiate conversations. Don't wait for kids to come to you. Use everyday chances to talk with them. News stories about cyberbullying, a storyline on TV, both can be the start of a good conversation. Be patient. Most kids need small bits of information, repeated often for it to really sink in. Keep talking. Chances are, it'll pay off. Read NetCetera for more information about chatting with your kids about being safe online. It's free, and you'll find it at onguardonline.gov.
The internet is more anonymous than the real world. People can hide their identities and they can pretend to be someone they're not. This can sometimes present a real danger to children and teens who are online. Online predators may try to lure kids and teens into sexual conversations or even face-to-face meetings. Predators will sometimes send obscene material or request that kids send pictures of themselves. Therefore, it's extremely important to teach your kids to be on their guard whenever they're online. Teens are generally more at risk from predators. Because they are curious and want to be accepted, they may talk to a predator willingly, even if they know it's dangerous. Sometimes teens may believe they are in love with someone online, making them more likely to agree to a face-to-face meeting. While it's not necessarily likely that your child will be contacted by a predator, the danger does exist. Some guidelines that you can tell your kids to help them stay away from online predators include: avoid using suggestive screen names or photos. If someone is flattering you online, you should be wary. Although many people online are genuinely nice, predators may use flattery to start a relationship. Don't talk to anyone who wants to get too personal. Keep in mind that people are not always who they say they are. Never arrange to meet someone you meet online or you met online, and make sure you tell a parent or trusted adult if you encounter a problem. If you think your child is being contacted by an online predator, seek immediate help from the following resources that include the local police or the cyber tip line at www.cybertipline.com. Cyberbullying is bullying that occurs online, often through instant messaging, text messages, etc. Cyberbullies may be the same age or they may be older. Cyberbullying can be just as hurtful as other types of bullying. In some ways, it can actually be worse. Cyberbullying is not limited to the playground. It can occur anytime children are online, even if they're at home. Also, the bully can sometimes remain anonymous, which makes the bullying more difficult to stop. Cyberbullying takes on many forms: writing hurtful things through instant messaging, posting derogatory messages on social media sites, posting or sharing embarrassing photos, or creating a fake profile in order to humiliate someone.
What is cyberbullying? Cyberbullying is any cyber communication or publication posted or sent by one young person to another. It may involve instant messaging, email, bashing websites, diary or online profile sites, interactive games, handheld devices, cell phone, or any interactive device that's invented. It's intended to frighten, embarrass, harass, or otherwise target another kid. What's the profile of a typical cyberbullying victim? Anyone between the ages of 9 and 14 are typical cyberbullying victims. 90% of the middle school students we polled admitted to having their feelings hurt online, and only 15% of the parents we polled even knew about cyberbullying at all. There are 4 types of cyberbullies: the vengeful angel, the power-hungry cyberbully, which includes the subset revenge of the nerds, the mean girls cyberbully, and the inadvertent cyberbully.
Alright, so what is cyberbullying?
How to word this properly.
Cyberbullying is you being harassed constantly online by one or more people.
Get a mean message saying mean things towards you.
People talking about, a third person.
You're on Xbox Live, your friends will say, oh, I was hacked.
Talking about what you look like, how they don't like it, and how ugly one person is.
They'll discriminate their race, religion, how they look.
Stuff like that. Little things that really sink deep into the skin.
When I was 12 years old, I was in 6th grade, and a boy at my school started bullying me in school every day, saying how stupid I was and how ugly I was.
She would copy and paste my screen name and type, did you see what so-and-so was wearing? And then forward that along with my screen name to that person.
Where is this coming from? I had no idea. I had always known I was a little heavier than other people, but I never thought people would use it against me.
And then he finally got my screen name and he started talking to me online. And he was saying all these mean things to me, the same things that he would in school. But then on the computer, he didn't have that same face, so he started being even more mean.
Everything that I enjoyed, everything I did outside of soccer and art was on my computer. That was the most difficult part because having wireless at my house and having wireless at school, I was surrounded by the internet all the time. She had access to me 24/7.
It took me to the point where I would go into my mom's room hysterically, crying and so upset about it. And she didn't even know what to do because this had never happened to me before.
I ended up missing school a lot because I had stomach aches. That was a lot of it psychologically. I didn't want to go to school. And it was my way of putting a barrier between school and this bullying and myself.
So I went back to this kid and I started talking to him online and saying, I can't accept this from you. All that did was make him even more angry and make me a target.
My mom actually had to take control of it, and she actually called the police because I kept getting these harassing phone calls, and they actually traced it back to one of my best friend's older brothers was playing a prank on me, and they just thought it was a joke.
All this kid really wanted was a reaction out of me. So finally my dad went on the internet and on my screen name he said, my daughter isn't any of the things that you said. You can't treat her like this. If you do, then I will notify the authorities. So this kid got scared and he stopped talking to me.
The one thing they want to do is pick on me and get a reaction so it looks like it's my fault. And I knew this is a one time not to fight back. Stop what you're doing because you're going to want to write back something just as mean and something just as malicious. And that way you're going to be just as guilty as the person bullying you.
Stop, block, and tell. Make sure that if you get an offensive message, you don't do anything to make it worse. You block the person and that your children know that they can come to you and you will help them. Think before you click. Are you sending your message to the right person? Is it possible that it's going to be misinterpreted? Make sure you put a JK or a smiley next to what you're saying so the person who gets it knows that you're just kidding or joking around. Respect others. If you teach them good manners online, we call it netiquette, it's less likely they're going to get into trouble. Keep your private information private. The more information that's out there about your child, the easier it is for someone to target them. Google your child and Google yourself. See what comes up. Hopefully, nothing. Take 5. Put down the mouse and walk away from the computer. That way, no one will get hurt. We ask them to choose the one thing that would help them relax and feel better about themselves, and to spend 5 minutes doing it if something upsets them in real life or online. All of us make better decisions when we've had time to think about it.
The first thing I would do, just block, just ignore.
It's important to teach your kids how to respond to cyberbullying. You can tell your kids to use the following guidelines if they're being bullied. Don't reply to the bully. If possible, block messages. Keep all emails and other messages that the bully sends, and report the bullying to a parent or trusted adults. And unfortunately, kids can be mean sometimes, and the internet often makes it easier for people to say hurtful things because it's more impersonal and anonymous. As a result, many kids participate in cyberbullying even though they don't consider themselves bullies. It's important for your children to understand that the comments they make online can hurt just as much as those made face-to-face. It's also possible for kids to face serious consequences for cyberbullying. Many schools now have zero tolerance policies for bullying, which may include cyberbullying that occurs outside of the school. Here are some resources that are available related to cyberbullying, including helpful activities for kids and teens. Social networking sites are more popular than ever, and they've changed the way people use the internet. Some of the most popular sites are Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and these sites allow people to keep in touch with their friends, share links, plan events, and much more. For many teens and even younger kids, online social networking is an important part of their lives because it lets them talk to their friends, no matter where they are. Social networks aren't a bad thing, but there are a few risks your kids will need to be aware of. Many social networking sites have an age requirement. Many kids lie, however, about their age in order to join, and some parents allow that to occur. Keep in mind that these age restrictions exist to protect your child's privacy. Social networks also involve a lot of sharing, including photos, videos, links, and personal information. Many kids and teens enjoy sharing these things, but they may be actually sharing information with more people than they realize. For example, a recent study found that 68% of teens have accepted friend requests from strangers, and 8% have accepted every friend request they've received. This means that their friends may not be people they trust. So as you talk to your kids about social networking, you can give them the following guidelines. Keep your posts private. Check your privacy settings frequently. Be careful what you share. Don't add strangers to your friends list. Keep in mind that things you post online may stay there for years. And use good netiquette.
Being online is a great way to share information and connect with friends. But it's important to remember that the things we post online can affect people in the real world. Before you post anything online, ask yourself a few questions. How would you feel if your family, your teachers, your coaches, or your neighbors found it? Even if you turn on privacy settings, it's impossible to completely control who sees what you post, or when. Do you want a message or photo you posted to show up years from now, when you apply for college or a job? Once you post information online, you can't take it back. Even if you delete it, it can still live somewhere else. While a video or picture may be funny to you, it may be embarrassing or hurtful for someone else. Being online is part of your life, so stop and think before you click.
Even though sites like Facebook give you some control over what information is shared, some parts of the profile are usually visible to everyone. So if your children are setting up their online profile, they should take precautions to make sure their profiles aren't revealing too much information. First of all, their screen name. Should you use your full name, first name only, or a pseudonym? Well, it may be okay to use your full name on sites like Facebook and LinkedIn. On a message board or chat room, you should not use your full name. Profile picture. Many sites allow you to choose a profile picture. This can be a photo or an avatar. On Facebook, most people use photos of themselves. However, on a more public site, you may want to use an avatar. Keep in mind that many different people will be able to see that profile picture, so it's important to choose a picture that won't reflect negatively on you. Profile information you should be careful about. If you have the option of making your info private to just you and your friends, you should choose this option. Contact information, and generally speaking, you do not want to include any contact information other than your email address. And it's also might be a good idea to create a separate email address for social networking connections. Your image and persona are very important to you, so always keep in mind what type of public image you want to project. And your online image will become more important when you begin to apply for jobs or to college. Here are some general resources that are available in regards to what we talked about in our presentation. Here's resources if your child, who to contact if your child is in danger, resources relating to cyberbullying, websites for kids and teens, as well as kid-friendly search engines. Once again, I thank you for your time in watching and learning about how best to teach your child about internet safety. If you have additional questions, feel free to check out more materials at the Ohio Educational Technology Agency's website at www.ohioedtex.org. Thank you so much and have a great day.